Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Vickie Griffith with Breakthrough. So excited to have Erin here with us today. Woo! Erin and I just recently met, but we really hit it off. It's so fun how that just happens.
Oh yeah, I love it. You know when you meet your people, right?
Right, exactly. So I know you a little bit, and I really don't like to read bios to tell you the truth because most of the time people don't want to listen. I zone out when someone talks about a bio. So here's what we're going to do. Tell me what got you to do what you do.
Oh my
So
God,
first
that's so funny.
tell me what it is, and then tell us how you got there.
Awesome. I do have to tell you though, real quick. I'm very glad you're not reading the bio because I've said before I've had to pay therapist a lot of money to be able to listen to somebody read my bio and me just say thank you. It's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable.
It is.
Thank you for
And
skipping
they
it.
don't really get the truth about you because you're
Right.
more than I wrote this book and so let's talk
Exactly.
real. Let's talk real.
Exactly.
How'd you get
That's so
started?
true. How did I get started? So, Erin Marcus, Conquer Your Business. I call myself a success coach because I work with my clients very much at that intersection where strategy and messaging to grow your business meet who you have to be in order to succeed. So, it's not all just task oriented, do the work strategy, but it's also not the fluffy side of self-development. I call it the take action side. So how did I get here? I resisted this for ages. I didn't realize I had been doing it for 20 years. Um, I was actually a business coach even back in my corporate life because I used to have a role in an insurance wholesaler where I would put these deals together, but then I would go to the annual events and I would teach the financial planners how to sell certain products, how to use that product to grow their portfolio, how to talk to their clients about this product. So I had been doing that. I did that for years. And then when I had my first business, it was a franchise working with families with aging parents. And I got my franchise to like the top 10 in like 18 months out of 200 offices. So the franchisor hired me to speak at the conferences and speak at the meetings and teach new franchise owners how to launch their offices. So here I was doing it again. So I've been doing this for more than 20 years. But I will tell you, and you'll totally we'll let your listeners in on it, but you'll totally get this because we were kind of chatting about it a little bit before we went live. I resisted the coaching business and calling myself a coach as I tried to decide what to do next because I didn't like a lot of what I saw in the industry and I didn't want to throw my name in that ring. Now there's some great, don't get me wrong, it is not everyone. I have some amazing coaches and I would absolutely not be doing half of what I'm doing now without them. But there was so much I didn't like that I just kind of hesitated to fully embrace it. And then I finally found the coach that told me that you're just stopping yourself. That's just a story. Get out of your own way. All the things I needed to hear. And I just really went for it after that. And here we are.
That's pretty awesome. And I same story here. I didn't call myself a coach for a long time because of what the industry has done for it. And I've known some really amazing coaches. I too have amazing coaches, and I would not be where I was personally or professionally without them. However,
Right.
it's always those few, and we all have those few in any industry that kind of knock things down. So I appreciate you sharing that. So tell me about your client. What's their biggest challenge? So who comes to you and what are they looking for?
My client's biggest challenge, and I think there's a lot of this out there, is the overwhelm, the frustration, that feeling of I'm smart, I'm
Mm-hmm.
working hard. Why isn't this working?
Right.
Why isn't it working? So I always say I love working with people who have gotten their ball rolling through hustle. They're hard workers. They do the work.
Mm-hmm.
They want the information. They take the steps, but they're just frustrated. And I love helping people. There's nothing worse, and it's my story as well. You leave this big fancy corporate job. I had a big fancy corporate job. It was fantastic. And you think that you're just going to go repeat that success. But there's something about the entrepreneurial world that everything that made you successful in your job just kills you as an entrepreneur. It doesn't work. That doesn't mean that intelligence doesn't translate, but a lot of the activities do not translate. And so that's who I really love working with. They know they're smart. They know they have something to share. They know they have something to offer. They've had success in the past, and they're just not sure why it's not working.
And you just answered what would happen if they don't work with you. More of the same, right? More frustration, more overwhelm. And when you and I talked earlier too, you said, I'm not a tactician. That's the right word. I'm a strategist. And so many entrepreneurs, especially leaving corporate, because you're right, a lot of the skills do transfer, but a lot of them don't transfer. And my clients will say to me, what happened to my team? I used to have a team.
My first meltdown, you want to laugh. My absolute first post-corporate meltdown was the third day in when the printer didn't print and I had no one to call.
Right.
And I had no idea what to do.
Right, exactly. And so because we're frustrated, because we don't know how to fix the printer and we don't know how to, to contact people, we don't have a team, we start looking, and this is my background, for a tactic. So I want to figure out, someone will promise that I can make tons of money on Facebook. And so I do everything they say. So that's that hustle, right? There's that hard work. I do the work and it didn't work out. All right, so and then someone else comes along and they say, well, here's this thing, and this is all flashy, and this will help you make billions of dollars, just like it did me. Did the work, never worked out. And so what I love about you is you're the strategist. You put it together in a plan.
Well, and that's just it. It's not that the tactics were wrong.
Right.
It's not that those tactics never work. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's that you did them in the wrong order. You weren't ready for them. Your business wasn't ready for them.
I agree with that.
That you don't know. And people don't realize that piece, because when you have a job, you're part of a process.
Right.
The work shows up. I don't care how fancy. I was big and fancy. I was still part of the process. You're still part of the process. The work shows up. All that other stuff has been figured out. Mm-hmm. Do your piece, no matter how big or how small. And then the next person does their piece. But when you're the one that has to put it together, and that overwhelm and frustration will also lead you buying into the tactic in an effort to press an easy button, not in an icky way. I hesitated.
I know what you mean.
Said that. Not in an icky way, but more of a please just give me some relief way.
Some results.
Yeah.
Some relief and results.
Yeah.
And then the whole cycle happens. And I appreciate that you say that about level of business that you're in, because whether you're from corporate or you're just starting a business, you start here, but you want to jump up here. And because of the tactics, everyone's saying you have to do social media, you have to do website, you have to do. So you're trying to scramble to get all those things done. And since I've started, I know people who don't have websites and they did multiple six figures before they had one. And so a lot of the shoulds that we think we have to do is still part of hiding, in my opinion. We're still hiding, or we just don't know that we don't need to do that. Go out and make money first and see if it's even a sellable idea.
Oh my God, that's my other big thing. Go talk to other human beings. Go talk to other human beings. Don't create your business in a bubble.
Right.
Because not that you're wrong, not that you have no idea.
Right.
But I absolutely promise you will get further faster talking to other people, making offers, seeing how it works, taking that information as feedback, not failure, and then applying it to what you're doing. Because the success is not it's not a lightning rod. It's a series of tweaks. Teeny little tweaks, but that's like good news. You don't have to reinvent everything. That's really good news, that you just need tweaks. You don't have to, throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I absolutely agree. And this is why I like people like you coming onto my channel, because a lot of I'm personal development for the most part. and you're a business strategist and business coach. But everything you're saying right now applies to our life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely everything applies to our life. And that's why it's so wonderful to hear people like you come on and say, okay, it's just small tweaks. You're not broken.
You're not wrong. You're not broken. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not a bad person. All that stuff just crushes any hope of success, because you'll just continue to get in your own way when you feel that way. And here's the other thing. Don't you want to have fun? Don't you want to have some fun? I mean, why would I keep doing this if it wasn't fun? You don't, there's no reason. Now, I'm not saying some days aren't a little scrambly. That's my new word, scrambly, but trying to get rid of the scrambly. But it's too hard to keep going if some of this isn't fun.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And I think we have to, if it's not fun, then you go into a job again. You're getting up every morning and you're going into work just like you did before, and you hate every second of it. You can't take your break.
And you hate your boss, except now that's you. Right? You still hate your boss, except now you got to live with them.
And my husband and he works in corporate still, so he gets more days off than I do. And if I don't catch that he has a day off, I'm like, my boss is a bitch. I'm sorry. I just, she expects me to be there. I don't know how to tell you. I don't have the luxury of all those days off.
I hear you. That's awesome. That's so fun.
So what do you think the biggest myth is around business coaching that you can debunk for us right now?
The biggest myth around business coaching?
Yep.
It's not a myth. I'm going to say it this way. It's not a myth. We'll call it a mistake. And we'll give people some insight before they choose a coach.
Okay.
That there's only one right way to do this. Now, one of the things one of my soapboxes is there's too many, kind of like how you said you bought into a tactic. There's too many coaches out there who only know one way, that you have to grow the biggest business you could possibly grow. I have a lot of drive. I want to build a big business. I'm very excited about it. But I have several clients who have no desire to do that. They have no desire to do that. So I think one of the myths or mistakes is when you are looking for a coach, find somebody who, we were talking about before, who gets you.
Right.
Someone who will push you, but at the same time, not someone who's trying to recreate who you are.
Oh, I love that.
Like, I can help you get what you want. I know I've done it enough times. I can absolutely help a business owner get what they want. What I absolutely cannot do is tell them what to want.
Yeah.
It's not my place to tell anybody what they want.
That's awesome. And what I love hearing too, we got a like, so thank you. We have 4 people on, so I appreciate you being here, everyone. But what I just lost my train of thought. That you aren't intending for your clients to be like you. So in other words, it's okay they want a lifestyle business. And a lifestyle business gets them what they want in a life.
See my fancy earrings? I just got them from my client yesterday.
Nice.
She has a part-time business. Now, she's made great strides this year. She's made absolutely amazing, great strides this year. But she doesn't want to be a huge, gigantic business. She doesn't want to sell on Etsy. She wants her version of a good business, and she wanted to be happier doing it. Right. That's what we created. And then I'm loving these. I got my rock star earrings, right? I'm an 80s girl. So these are these coming back? Because I'm going to be so excited if they're coming back, and I'm wearing them anyway.
I love it. That's awesome. What a beautiful gift. So what one thing do you wish you would have known? I think you've said many of them, but what one thing you wish you would have known before you started this journey?
Before I started this journey, I think that I made the mistake that a lot of people make, buying into tactics before I was ready, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I don't know. I don't blame anybody for that. That's one of my big things. I will absolutely tell you, I use a ton of that information. I still use a ton of that information now. But it created debt and frustration I didn't need at the time or could have reorganized. It could have been easier. It could have been easier if I would have known that sooner and had more information about how to put the order of things. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and I know I went through that process too. So it's building my business.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know, and you're relying on other people to help share that with you. And sometimes we're taking the advice of people that we shouldn't be taking advice from.
And I want to add something in there because somebody said something to me this morning. I invited somebody I know to be on my podcast who went through a really big health scare, and she's very open about it. So I was really excited about having an entrepreneur. How do you get through owning a business during a health scare? So I'm very excited about putting that out there. And she had mentioned, oh my gosh, I see all the stuff. I see your new level of branding, and you finally found your place. And under things that I wish I would have known sooner is I'm 50 years old. So I started in corporate in the late 80s, early 90s, when women were thinking they had to be men, it took me several years as an entrepreneur to re-find me. And I wish I would have known sooner to just be unapologetically me, because it makes it so much easier to find my people. Right. And who likes me and who I like. And it's so much more fun going back to that. I'm not stifling myself anymore. I don't feel like I'm always wrong anymore. Well, sometimes, but there's days, but I wish I would have known that sooner because of the amount of relief that comes with learning to accept and be proud and understand that the world needs you to be you.
And that in my world of personal development, that is one of the most messages that's loud and clear. Be yourself. Yeah. Don't try to mold yourself into what you think other people think of you. They're probably not thinking that anyway. So be you, enjoy you, have fun being you, as quirky as I might be sometimes, as goofy as I am sometimes, and forgetful as I am sometimes. I mean, all of that stuff. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, because again, in both our business and our life, be who, and I'm going to use the word God just because that's a universal term, but be whatever you think you're put on this earth to be, rather than what everyone else you think everyone else thinks you should be. So I appreciate that. So I know that you have something very generous to share with everybody. So can you tell us a little bit about it? And I'll go ahead and put the link on.
Awesome. So one of the things I learned to do, and this was very different from my corporate world, is a morning routine. A morning routine, setting yourself up for success. How do you start each day to set yourself up for a successful day so that it leads to a successful week, successful month? What do you do? And I am so not the quiet, meditating.
What?
It's not my personality. So I always felt like I was doing it wrong, right? Uh-huh. I'm not doing it the way that the Calm app says that I should be doing it. I tried. It's hard for me. And then I got a dog and a puppy, and it was like my morning was nuts. So what I put together was the routine I use to set myself up for success when letting go of what is the perfect version of the routine.
I love it.
So all the tips on how I got to the point I got to with it, all of the steps on what I include so that you can mix and match, and the permission right up front, the permission to do it in whatever way works for you. And in the year now that I've had this current version of it, I mean, it's been amazing how much I've grown, how much I've accomplished, how better I feel about all of it. So that's what I wanted to give people. Because like I said, I work at that intersection where what do you got to do meets who you, there's enough people out there telling you what to do. So I wanted to help a little bit on the business side of who do I have to be to do it?
And I know I'm going to go there to download it, but I would almost bet that the processes and steps that you're sharing can help with any area of our life. So whether it's weight loss or you want to change a habit, I mean, I'm sure that it can help in all kinds of areas. So I really encourage everybody in my audience to download it so you can take a look at that for yourself.
Well, and I'll tell you, I lost 20 pounds earlier this year, and it was, that whole process was in the morning routine for any goal that you're trying to reach.
Right, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. That's exciting. Any last tidbit that you'd like to share?
Tidbit? You know, just a little bit about my tagline, because that is what, again, whether it's your business, whether it's your life, whether it's your family, my tagline for my business is be in charge, take action, get results. And I've just found, so my last tidbit is be in charge, make the decisions you need to make, take responsibility for the things you need to take responsibility for, but take action, because none of it matters until you take action to create the new habit, to take the next step. And when I say get results, it doesn't mean get the results you want. It means get some results. Take the action so you can get some results, so you can measure those results. So you can do, like we said before, go back to the action that you're taking and tweak it the little bit. And if you just keep doing that, it's amazing what happens.
And, just a little comment on that. I think a lot of people don't take that action step because they're afraid they're going to do it wrong, or they're going to fail at it.
Do it wrong. I go, oh my God, I can't, please let me do it wrong. Now I have a data point. Don't do it that way anymore. Right? I mean, I assume half of what I'm going to do is going to be wrong. And then I don't get upset when it doesn't work.
Right. That's true. I mean, statistics show us, even in advertising, Coca-Cola spends millions of dollars a year, and they'll go into the board meetings and they'll go, hey, I've got great news. 50% of our advertising worked. And they'll go, great. So what didn't work? We're like, we don't know.
We don't know.
So just do it, even if it's going to be wrong, or you think you're going to be wrong, or it's going to be perfect.
And I'll tell you, you will grow faster by the mistakes than what works. And I'll share this with you just because it's so funny. My boyfriend said to me, that's all great that you've learned to fail faster. When do we learn to fail cheaper?
That is funny.
Right.
That is funny. Well, thank you so much for being on my program
absolutely.
today.
It's so great to spend time with you again. We have to think of what we can do together next.
I know. We're so much fun together. I really enjoy you. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
And go to I'm going to put this underneath the Facebook page in the comments too. So go there and download it. You can click it that way. And like I said, even if you're not in business, do it anyway, because these same steps are what you can use for any area of your life you want to change.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
You too. Bye, everyone.